Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome to the first video for the Pokemon series. Let me scoot up some so that way this mic can pick me up a little bit better. But what's going on, y'all? Like I said, welcome to the first video for the Pokemon series. In this episode, we are going to be discussing Gen 1 slash Let's Go Eevee slash Kanto generation, the Kanto games, stuff like that. Like I said in the last video, even though it wasn't introduced until later on, for instance like the Alolan forms, I will still count those in this section because I'm also counting the Let's Go games, which you could get the Alolan forms of the Pokemon that were available at the time. So that would be like Sandslash, Ninetales, Muck, and Marowak. I would be counting those in this one because I used them in the games. Also, for instance, when we get to Alola down the line, I may also include Alolan forms there, as long as they were different from the ones that were on this list. So like I said, let's say if on this list we have Alolan Marowak, when we go to Gen 6, talk about Alola, or no, excuse me, Gen 7, when we talk about Alola, Marowak won't be on that list because he was already used in this one. Like I said, there's only going to be one instance of one Pokemon that you're going to see twice on this in these videos, and that is Charizard. I'm not even going to try to make that a secret. That is what's going to happen. You're going to see them again in Gen 6 when we talk about the Kalos games. So with that being said, let's get started with number 1. Muck. Specifically, and this is the one I was talking about, Alolan Muck. I have a very fond. I have a lot of fondness for poison type Pokemon in general. They're not my favorite type, but they are definitely up there. I'd have to sit down and definitely think about what typings. I'd say that they're at least a top 5 for me because I love a lot of the poison types. But anyway, specifically Alolan Muck. The reason why I love this one is because it gets that secondary typing of Dark, and like I said, this isn't really a competitive thing, but I do take some of that stuff into consideration because whenever I was playing the Let's Go games and I was able to I was able to trade a Kanto Muck for the Alolan Muck, I swept Sabrina's gym like no other with that because I was like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Not a damn thing because of that dark type. Fun fact, I think I told my friend this, but one of my best friends, I actually nicknamed the Muck that I used in the Let's Go games after them. I named him, if Dylan, if you ever see this video for whatever reason, and if I mispronounce your last name, I am so sorry. But Huang, I nicknamed him Huang because he's a fabulous pile of slime, and I know that it sounds fucked up that I'm describing one of my best friends like that, but it comes from a good place and it's nothing but love. I love them, and I love Huang, the Alolan Muck. Alright, coming up with number 2, we're just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Charizard. Like I said before, Charizard is without a doubt my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like I said, this goes all the way back to when I was playing Pokemon Red back when I was just a wee little kid. I used to go up to my mom's work, I'd sit down on the stairs, get my Game Boy, the original one that doesn't have any backlight, the Game Boy, and then we didn't own it for a while, but what we did was that we rented it from Blockbuster. Not that I'm showing my age in this, but I would just sit there, and I remember seeing the cartridge, in the Blockbuster, and just picking it up. I was like, oh my, this is so cool. What is this? And so I played it. And like I said, I picked Charizard because, back in America, back when Red and Blue came out, it was either Blastoise and then you had Charizard. And I'm sorry, but design-wise, Charizard looks so much cooler than Blastoise. No offense to any of the Blastoise fans there, but it was just he looked so cool. He was just like this fire. It's like this dragon or whatever that just had a fire tail and just looked badass. And then there's just obviously the anime. You can't discount Ash's Charizard. Arguably one of his best, if not, well, I won't say his best, just because it's been a minute since I've actually seen the show, so I don't know if that would really be considered his best Pokemon, but one of his. He was just so cool, except for when he was being a little dick and slept and cost Ash the tournament. But I was just like, you know what? My Charizard doesn't do that. My Charizard kicks everyone's ass. And so it's just like, ever since then, Charizard has just become like my favorite Pokemon of all time. Alright. Next up is going to be Venusaur. Now this one's a very recent addition to my favorites from the Kanto region. The main reason why is because for the longest time, like, I was one of those naysayers of the Bulbasaur line. I was just like, it's just a plant. And I'll tell you this, the main reason why I decided to actually play with Venusaur and for it to become my second favorite starter from the Kanto Pokemon, originally it was Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. But the Let's Go games switched that around to where, Charizard, then Venusaur, then Blastoise. I tried playing with Blastoise in the games, I just was not working for me. But I switched over to Venusaur and I was like, oh my god, he's so great. I love him. And the main reason why I wanted to use him in the games in the first place is because when I first saw the video of Venusaur walking around, he was a frog. That was so cool. I loved that he was just hopping around like a little. Well, he is a frog, and I didn't realize that. I don't know why it took me that long for me to realize that Venusaur was basically a frog. And that was literally the main reason why I fell in love with him, was because he just hopped around, and I was just like, damn, yo, that's so cool. I love that. And honestly, that's the main reason why Venusaur has become one of my favorite Pokemon from the Kanto series, or from the Kanto region, just because of that fact and that fact alone. In fact, I'll be real with y'all. I feel like if they hadn't made Venusaur hop around like that and have given him a very unique walking animation, or hopping animation if you want to be technical about it, I probably wouldn't care about him as much as I do. Now he's just, like I said, he's my second favorite. He's number 2 within the starters, and that's going to stay that way for a very long time, and he's just amazing, and I love him now. Alright, and next up is Nidoking. What's there to say about Nidoking? He looks pretty much like a fucking kaiju Godzilla, with just like the old school, just like his animations and everything. And it's just one of those things. There's one of those early route Pokemon with Nidoran. Yeah, Nidoran. And honestly, I get Nidorino and Nidoran mixed up every now and then. It's just like, okay, that looks pretty cool. And then so when I first found out that he turned into Nidoking, like 4-year-old, 5-year-old Zach, I was like, what? I always had a hard time when I was younger getting Nidoking, because honestly, when I was playing the original Pokemon games, I didn't know how to read. I did not know how to read. I would just do the battles and I'd give it to my mom. She'd read it to me, tell me what was going on. And that's basically what would happen. It's just that I would literally just fight and do all the battles. And it wasn't until like a few years ago that I actually got good or better at training my Pokemon. So I was that kid who, I have here's my level 10 Pidgey, and I'm at the Elite 4. Why do you expect the Elite 4? Because my Charizard's at level 80, because he's the only person that I trained. And so it was, like I said, this isn't necessarily like, oh, when I first played the Gen 1 games, he was number 1. It just wasn't. But over the years of me playing, getting better at the games and everything else, his design is what really did it for me. It's just like, this dude looks bad as fuck. And I was just like, hell yes, I love it. And because of that, he just became one of my favorite Pokemon. Alright, next up is Vileplume. Now, this one was a very recent thing. Um, Real fact. Back in the day, I used to be a fan of Pro Jared, and I remember him talking about um, one of his Nuzlocks. I remember him talking about this. I can't remember which Nuzlocke it was. I think it was like a leaf green Nuzlocke. He was talking about, if anybody who's a fan of Pro Jared at any time, they might know about this, about Nuptuck, the Vileplume, and how it saved his ass on so many games. I was just like, yeah, you know what? I was just like, why the hell not? I'm gonna try it out to see if this dude full of shit. And I was doing my own version of a red Nuzlocke a few years ago, and I was, I honestly I thought Jared was full of shit. Real talk. I thought he was full of it. I was just like, there's no way that this Vileplume's gonna be that good. Yeah, he was. He saved my ass several times, and I was just very surprised at that fact. I was just like, I never gave him a chance because I just didn't like the way it looked. In all honesty, that's how I do a lot of my teams. Is how do they look? Do they look cool? And then some battle aspect comes in play, because if I'm playing the game, like if I don't know how to use them properly, and this is user error more than anything else. I don't particularly. I would just trade them out. I'm like, okay, don't really like this. But Vileplume, for the longest time, I never used it because, like I said, I just did not like the way it looked. I just passed on it, and then it just, I was just like, Vileplume. I was just like, okay, I misjudged you, and I am sorry for that. And that's why Vileplume is is number 5. Not this isn't in particular order, but it's just I don't know how else to end that sentence. All right, and last but not least, for the Kanto region, Lapras. I feel like I don't have to say anything about that because it's Lapras. Let's face it, I feel like Lapras is, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like Lapras is just one of those Pokemon that everyone likes. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen or heard of anybody ever saying that they do not care for Lapras for whatever reason. Let's face it, like Ash's Lapras and just anime when they were doing, I believe it was the Orange Islands. I think that was what it was. Is when they used that to transport, go between the islands and everything. And then there was just like that battle where they were racing in the water, and Lapras just used the ice beam on the ocean and just slid its way to victory, and everything else. It was just like the fact that you got it for free. Yeah, did you? Yeah, and the fact that you kind of got it for free. I think it was the Silphco. Yeah, I think it was the Silph. Yeah, it was the Silph in the Silphco. And it was just like, okay, this is a water type. It looks pretty cool. I've seen it in the show, and I realized that it's pretty cool. And I'm just like, I needed a water type. And honestly, it's just like I said again. A lot of this comes back to the design for me for a lot of things more than anything else. It's just, it's Nessie. It's the Loch Ness monster. Like, let's face it. Growing up, I kind of like the cryptids and everything. I remember reading this book back when I was in middle school about cryptoids and how they were real and everything. I don't remember the name of the series. I don't remember the name of the book off the top of my head, but it was just, I enjoyed them. And the fact that we had this Pokemon kind of based off of the Loch Ness monster, which, let's face it, everybody wants the Nessie to be real. Everybody does. I don't know of any person who doesn't want Nessie to be real. And the fact that I was able to use one that was so amazing, and just it was just pretty amazing to be able to use that, and it's adorable. Like the note, like its sound, whenever it comes out in the battle, it's adorable. That's all I can say about Lapras. All right. Alright, and with that being said, thanks for watching. This is like the first time I'm actually doing one of these kind of videos where I'm just sitting here talking and then I'll have some editing in it. I'll be the first to admit, I am not the best editor, and this stuff that this editing software I'm using is a little complicated for me, especially because I'm still learning how to use it. So let me know down below what you thought of the video. Did you enjoy it? Who are your favorite? What's your 6 favorite Pokemon from the Kanto regions? Like I said, it could be one of the Alolan forms. It could have the Alolan forms. It could not. It could be just like the original Red, Blue, and Yellow games. Pokemon that you want just from those. It could be from the Let's Go games. Like what team did you use? Yeah, just let me know down below, and let's just get the discussion rolling. Thanks very much, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all later.